I'm all about living a soft life, but that doesn't mean that you aren't ever productive, that you don't ever work, that you don't have discipline. And oftentimes it's these productivity hacks that enable us to live that softer life in the first place. Hello friends and welcome back. If you're new here, my name's Jillz and I help women step into their power, embrace their womanhood, and become their best selves. So if that's something you want to do, you should absolutely consider subscribing and sticking around. Like I said, I love the soft life vibes and I am actively always trying to create a life of more ease and peace and not get stuck in the glorified hustle and not make life harder than it needs to be. That's very important to me. I feel much happier of a woman and much more connected to my feminine energy when I try to prioritize softer living. However, of course, that does not mean that there aren't challenging moments here and there, or times where I work and do chores more than I'd like to. And that doesn't mean that there aren't moments or phases in my life where that hustle and grind is needed. I'm here for the soft life, but that doesn't mean just lounging around all day, every day. And there will be phases in our life where that soft, relaxed way of living just comes more easily than other phases. You know, if you have 2 kids under 2, or you're starting a business, or you're in medical school, like it's gonna be more of a grind, and that is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. We all go through different ebbs and flows in life. However, that doesn't mean that there aren't little ways that we can add more softness and ease to our life regardless. So these are all my little productivity hacks that I discovered for myself to help me live a softer life. So maybe they help you too. Okay, so the first 2 tips are by far the most important and most impactful. So the first productivity hack is realizing that a good mood changes everything. And when you're in a good mood, when you're feeling happy and joyful and grateful, and when you're just feeling good, everything in your life is so much easier. Everything. You usually get things done faster and more efficiently, and work and things that you do need to do, like chores that you need to do, they aren't as bad. They're more fun. Like for example, if you have to clean the whole house, when you're in a good, happy mood, it tends to be more like, oh, I'm organizing my things, I'm cleaning off the counters. Oh, look, my kitchen's clean now. That's nice. It feels good to make my home pretty. And when you're in a bad mood and you're all grumpy and you have to do the same exact thing, you have to clean your whole house, it's like, why are all of these cups out? Why is there dog hair everywhere? I just vacuumed. Why is my husband leaving his socks all over the floor? And it just makes a task that doesn't need to be stressful. If you're in a good mood and you go to work, work is much more enjoyable and less stressful. You know, you walk in with a smile and you say hi to your coworkers, and work is just a happier place and it's a happier thing to do. Your work usually just seems easier. Your day usually just goes easier. And also you're less distracted because that negativity that comes with a bad mood, it just makes you less focused. It takes you way longer to get things done, and working becomes this really heavy, painful process. A soft life doesn't mean not working and not doing productive things. It just means not making these moments a struggle when they don't need to be. Like I said, living a soft life is not just lounging by the pool 24/7, although that sounds wonderful. But a big part of it is just about creating peace and ease in those little moments, even in those little moments of doing. And being joyful, being happy, being excited for the day, being grateful for the day, that is one of the best tricks, one of the best hacks that you can have, hands down. And that is why it is so important when you wake up every single morning to encourage yourself to feel joy and do everything you can to feel those happy feelings. I am a big believer that we are not here to struggle and be stressed and be sad all the time. Whatever we focus on is what we think about, and whatever we think about is how we feel. It's about focusing on and seeing all of the good and basking in it. Putting on your favorite song when you wake up, feeling how amazing that morning sun feels on your skin when you let your dogs out to go to the bathroom. And you have to make feeling joy a part of your job. And joy is not just found in going on vacation and winning the lottery. Joy is also found in the little moments. And it is your job to recognize them and milk everything you can out of them. When you start doing this, no matter what phase you're at in your life, even if your life is really crazy right now, you will start to create a softer life for yourself. You will start to feel the effects of this. Now, of course, this doesn't mean that us feeling sad and frustrated, that's a bad thing. You know, we're human beings, and at the end of the day, we're going to feel the whole spectrum of emotions. That's how it works. That's okay, and it's not healthy to suppress our emotions. But here's the thing though, a lot of times when we're feeling down, we don't just feel our feelings, acknowledge our feelings, honor those feelings, send love to those feelings, and allow ourselves to then let them go. Instead, we sit in them. We wallow in them and we get stuck in them. And there's a teeny tiny part of us that actually loves or enjoys suffering, that likes getting stuck in that pain. Don't let that part of you take over and prevent yourself from living that life of ease and joy that you deserve. Not every day will be rainbows and sunshine, and that is okay. But when you actively try to put yourself in a good mood every day, when you actively try to milk the crap out of every amazing thing in your life, when we actively choose our thoughts and choose good thoughts instead of letting our fears and anxieties take over, that's when everything starts to shift. That's when everything in our life becomes easier. If you want a softer life, it's not about paying for first-class flight tickets and going to all these fancy restaurants, although those things are wonderful and can probably help, let's be real. But if you truly want a softer life, it starts here. It starts in your internal world. It has nothing to do with your external world. It starts with cultivating inner happiness right now. All right, so moving on to the next major point, and that is prioritizing and cultivating good health, because good health, again, affects literally everything. You can be so much more productive, you can be so much more efficient, so much more focused, so much happier, so much more creative when you're in good health. You know, when you're always feeling bloated or always having an upset tummy or always feeling like you need to run to the bathroom, that doesn't make things easier. That adds a lot of roadblocks and hurdles to your life. If you're feeling like you always have super low energy and you have all this brain fog where you can't think straight and it takes you 5 times as long to complete your tasks, that does not create a life of more ease. It makes everything harder. It makes everything feel heavier. And I have noticed in my own personal life that when I was having major health issues and having my autoimmune problems, skin problems, hormone problems, anxiety problems, energy problems, all that stuff, to now where I feel so much better, so much more alive. It's not like I never have any problems, but I just feel so much better. Life is 10 times easier. I can do tasks in less time, and therefore I have more time to do as I please. And I enjoy the tasks that I do have to do more. If you're eating really bad junky food all the time and your blood sugar is all over the place and constantly crashing and makes you feel like you have to take a nap after every single meal, that makes life so much harder. That softness and ease is not as easy to cultivate. That is just the cold hard facts. And especially if you are in a creative job or have creative work, I'm sure you guys who have this could agree with me on this, let me know. But when you are healthy, when you are feeling good, when you're feeling energized, when your brain is clear, your creativity flows just so much more naturally. You're not pulling teeth for ideas and creative inspiration all the time. It just comes when you're on a walk or making breakfast, and that makes things so much easier. There's this quote, and I don't know who said it, but it's like, everything is super important until you're sick. Then you realize there was only ever one thing that was important: your health. And that's because if you don't have your health, it feels like you have nothing. It creates difficulty and hardship in every single aspect of your life. It trickles over into every single aspect of your life. If you prioritize your health and find real joy and love and meaning in taking care of yourself and not making it this stressful chore, that is the key, then everything becomes easier, everything becomes more enjoyable, everything becomes softer. The better you feel, the more productive you tend to be in a shorter amount of time, and the more enjoyable your life gets, and then the softer your life gets. But then also the softer your life gets, the better your health starts to feel. So it's kind of like this positive spiral. So while these first 2 tips are not super specific, practical, here's how to do this sort of productivity tips, they are without a doubt more important than anything else. Okay, so next huge productivity hack to live a softer life. So often we make a to-do list and that to-do list is like a mile long, but we really have to be honest with ourselves and identify what are the priorities, like the top priorities that actually move the needle. There's this very common saying, it's called the 80-20 rule or the Pareto principle, where basically 80% of the results or output come from 20% of the work or input, meaning most of the outcomes in our life and the positive outcomes that we're looking for come from a very small portion of what we actually do. And this is why having clear priorities is so important, and aligning your days and your life with what actually matters, with what actually moves the needle, what actually creates real positive impact. Don't get caught up in all the things that you're supposed to do that don't really do it for you, that don't really move the needle for you. Focus on the things in your life that give you real benefit. Don't spread yourself too thin. Narrow it down and ensure that those priorities are accomplished. A little silly example, but some people just swear by their weekly massages. And when they get their weekly massages, they feel so much better. For that entire week, they feel so much more energized. They just feel good. And they get their stuff done, and it has this massive positive impact in their life. For me, don't get me wrong, I love massages, but it doesn't really impact me that much. It doesn't really do anything for me. It doesn't really move the needle. You can think about this with like work and business or any sort of like chores or tasks that you have to do. Like take, for example, email marketing. Let's say if in your business, if you really double down on email marketing and really focus on it, you see massive benefits, you see massive impact, then that's probably an area that you should focus on. But maybe, let's say in other industries, it's not the same and email marketing doesn't work. I have no idea. I don't really know much about email marketing. I'm just trying to use it as an example. The point is to double down and focus on the things that actually bring you impact instead of occupying your time and your brain with all of this other stuff that doesn't really do much for you, so that you can get to where you want to go with more ease and simplicity. And if I try to do like 15 big things in a day, like I could probably do it for a little bit, but eventually that's gonna burn me out. Pretty quickly that's gonna burn me out and I'm gonna be left exhausted. And that doesn't really scream soft life to me. But if someone else focused on like 3 or 4 things every single day that really made an impact and they did it consistently, they did it well. After a year, that person will be so much farther along than me with way less effort and stress. So use the 80-20 rule to create priorities in your life. What are the major things that help you get the outcome you want? And this isn't just with like work. You can also do this with everything, relationships and health and your home and everything. Money. Like what are those big things? And focus on them. Don't let those things slide or get taken over by a random little thing that pops up at 1 p.m. on a Wednesday, that aren't really important in the long term and aren't getting you to where you want to go. Keep your to-dos as simple and clean as you can for each day. Figure out the things that reap the biggest positive impacts in your life and milk everything you can out of them. Trim the rest. Don't overwhelm yourself with little tasks that don't really matter and don't really do much for you. Being busy for the sake of being busy is not an achievement. Now moving on, next productivity hack to make your life easier is to do things once when it's applicable. So for example, let's say that you have to cook yourself dinner. Okay, great. Well, you could also cook yourself a little bit extra and make yourself lunch for the next day. Cook once, eat twice, right? You have to answer emails. You can do that in a bulk, like once or twice every single day, as opposed to responding to emails that just come in as they come in and kind of like taking you out of your flow. If you're already going upstairs to do something and you see that all the folded towels are out and ready to be put away in the bathroom upstairs, you might as well take those folded towels with you while you're already going up. Or if you have to wash the towels, you might as well throw in the other towels because those are probably gonna have to get washed soon anyway, so you might as well just do it all at once. The point I'm trying to make is that if you're already doing something, it's not harder to add on a little something else. It's not about stressing and trying to do like all the things. It's just about thinking like, okay, I'm already doing this one thing, so how can I set my future self up for success and for ease? That's it. And you just have to do this in ways that feel good to you. So for example, a lot of people will do like meal prepping every Sunday where they will cook like every single meal for the week. And for some people that really works. It makes them feel really good. But for me, that's like a little bit overwhelming. It's like too much at once and it makes me feel really heavy. I don't like it. And instead I like the thing where I'm just cooking a little bit extra dinner at night for the next day. That feels good to me. That feels like ease to me. Do things once while you're already at it so you can do less later. That's it. Now the next one kind of goes with this, or it can go with this, but that is to create systems for yourself so things don't ever get too out of control. Because once things become too out of control, they get too out of hand, that is when things become stressful and overwhelming and heavy. What I mean by that is like once you get to the point where your house is a mess, like an absolute disaster, that does not feel good. When there's stuff everywhere, there's just clothes everywhere, there's just a pile of dishes in the sink, like I can't think of a worse feeling for myself, honestly. Once it gets to that point, it feels like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. It's so overwhelming. And the thought of like fully cleaning it and like cleaning all of it, you're like already exhausted before you even start. If every single day you don't put your clothes away in their proper places, then after like a month or two of this, then it's just gonna turn into a complete disaster and you're gonna have to spend a whole Saturday afternoon reorganizing your closet instead of spending time outside or going for a walk or hanging out with your friends or doing something nice. Or you get so behind on work because you were just putting stuff off, you were procrastinating or whatever, and you come back to a mountain of work that needs to get done, that is never a good feeling. It is so overwhelming, at least it is for me. So the point is to create systems for yourself so your life doesn't ever get too out of hand. So that can look like laundry every Sunday, or cleaning out your car every Sunday, or going to the grocery store every Saturday morning, or the farmer's market every Saturday morning. You know, not waiting until there's absolutely nothing in your fridge and then you're panicking because you're so hungry, but you don't want to order out because you are trying to be healthy and save money, but then you get to the point where you're so hungry, so you just order out anyways, and at that point you're so hungry you order the biggest pizza you can find. Personally, that is not a situation that I like to find myself in. I like it when my fridge is fully stocked, when I have bananas on the counter all the time that I can grab from. That makes me feel good. And it's just these little tiny systems that enable that to happen. When things get out of hand or too disorganized or too overwhelming, that's when things start to feel stressful and heavy. And these little things, they don't need to be stressful, but we can make them stressful when we don't just simply take care of ourselves and do things in a timely manner and in an organized way. Now, this next point, this is a big one. Now, a lot of people, when it comes to like living a soft life, you don't really associate that with the word discipline, although as you can tell by all of the points that I've mentioned, discipline is actually really important and can be really relevant for a soft life. It often facilitates that softer life. But, and this is a really powerful perspective shift, it doesn't have to be discipline, the word discipline, if that word feels a little bit like heavy or harsh or even masculine for you. You can replace the word discipline with devotion. One of you guys commented that to me several months ago, that you use the word devotion instead of the word discipline. And let me tell you, I have not forgotten it. I thought about this every single day. So thank you if that was you. But I love to look at it this way. Instead of discipline, it's devotion. Devotion to yourself. Devotion to making life easy. Devotion to taking care of yourself. Devotion is a much softer way of looking at it. A soft life is partly about having a comfortable life, yes, but sometimes people think about this wrong. If we're always prioritizing comfortability in the short term, that doesn't always set us up for success in the long term. And sometimes when you're disciplined in the short term, that's what actually creates a life of more ease in the long run. Like putting your money into an investment that will earn you money over time, you know, like give you cash flow, as opposed to putting it into a new car that you don't need. Or you exercising regularly, because although you would rather sit on the couch and watch reality TV, you know that in the long run, it feels good when you move your body regularly. This is devotion to yourself and your future self, so you can start to create that life of ease. Let me give you an example from my own life, like with YouTube. I earn an income now from YouTube, which I'm very, very grateful for. But when I started like everyone else with 0 subscribers and nobody watching. But I enjoyed it and I was passionate about it and I believed in it. And it felt very in line with me. It felt in line with my purpose. But even though nobody was really watching in the beginning, I still consistently created and posted videos every single week. And that took discipline or devotion to myself and my purpose and the life that I wanted to create. Now, let's be clear, I would totally do this even if I didn't get paid, because I do truly enjoy it, but that is besides the point. Now, I technically earn income while I sleep. I could go on vacation for 2 weeks and still be making money. I have been slowly building this lifestyle for myself. And in 5 years or 10 years, if I keep doing this and I'm on that same kind of track, that could look like a really soft life for me. But that took also a lot of discipline and a lot of devotion. It's not something that just happens, it's something that's built. But when this all started, it took discipline to take action on something that I wasn't yet getting results from. What I'm trying to say is that creating that soft life sometimes means having discipline. And a huge productivity hack to embrace discipline and think about it in a softer way is to think about it as devotion. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I always love to hear them. Now, I also have another soft life video for you guys. It's an older one, but with totally different tips. So if you haven't seen that one, highly recommend you check it out. Besides that, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for giving this video a like if you liked it, sharing it with your friends. I always appreciate it. Thank you. I will see you next time. Bye.